back. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back to start this show, part two of our program. So, Lotus, did you have any comments for us for the first hour?
Yes, Kevin. We've got some great comments. I want to say hello to Deborah Smith. She said, "Very powerful, brother Calvin Logan." She loves hearing from you. And Donna Green, we thank you, Donna, for chiming in. Donna says, "I would like to have y'all on my show." So, Donna, we'd love to be on your show. Just let us know when and where. Send us your contact and we'll be happy to do so. And then we have Angela Elting. She says she'd like to hear more men speak out about their powerful experiences. And she also said that we need to teach our children so that they can be our future leaders. And if we lead them the right way, they will lead us the right way as well. And then I saw another one down here from another person, Nicole Reynolds Solomon. She says, "Hey, Kev." Thank you, Nicole. We appreciate you. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Donna. And thank you, everyone. We appreciate you.
Thank you. So, what I want to go back to is, it's funny that we talked about Tyler Perry and some stuff he
Yes.
said, and a lot of times we have this crabs in the barrel mentality. And it's funny, I say all the time that I have people like you on my show. I have people
Yes.
on Lois on my show. And Lois is a life coach. I'm a life coach. You do your great thing. We both have shows. And
Yes.
people always ask me, why? Why you have people who do the same thing as you on your show? I said, because we all, I'm not in competition with Calvin. I'm not in
Right.
competition with Lotus. I'm not in competition with anybody that I have on the show. I want to bring people on the show that are doing great things that look like me so we could change the narrative for how people see us. So therefore, if Calvin gets new listeners from watching be on my show, that's more powerful for him. That means that's more people to reach out and contact and make his platform and influence people. Same way with Lotus. Lotus now has a platform through me, working with me, so now she can touch people. So they say, well, Kevin, if Lotus is a life coach like you, she might get clients that probably should came to you. I said, if they go to Lotus, it was meant for Lotus. If they come to me, it was meant for me. I'm not in competition because I don't have a lack mentality. So then, therefore, a lot of times the whole crab in the barrel mentality is because we speak and do out of lack. There's an abundance of all things for all of us. So we could do things as individuals, but we also could come together because people in my network may not know nothing about Calvin Logan.
Yeah.
But and so we have to make him be seen and heard because he's doing great things and when his area and what he's doing. So there are people in my area, in the Midwest, the West Coast that follow me, be like,
Yes.
okay, let me find out more about this guy and let me tune into him because he's speaking powerful information.
Yep.
Amen.
I think, Kevin, too, I wanted to share this, and I'm going to lean back on Mr. Tyler Perry. He said that, again, he saved $12,000 of his own money, and over maybe a 7-year duration, the show went bust, and then he finally made it. And over time, when he made his first $1 million, he developed a business in the hood, in the community that he was familiar with. But also, he talked about how hurt he was to hear some of his peers in business, just like himself. They talked about that he was a detriment to Black people. He didn't like Black women. He didn't like Black men. But Tyler went on to say he was so hurt because how could you say this when I'm giving more jobs to more people of color in these areas that nobody wants to care about, that nobody wants to help. And by the way, Calvin, you made a great point about when they come in and make some changes in the community. And I'm hearing this more and more and more. Augusta, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. I heard this a lot, even here in DC, that word gentrification. Does anybody know what that word means? you probably got an idea. Well, let me tell you from Webster what it says. It says the process of repairing and rebuilding homes and businesses in deteriorating areas, such as, in parentheses, such as an urban neighborhood, accompanied by an influx of middle class or affluent people, and that often result in displacement of earlier, usually poorer residents. So again, you have to remember, when people start coming into your neighborhoods and they want to make a change, and they're raising the price of living in your neighborhood, it's because you've allowed it. You can't sit back and say, woe is me. You've allowed it. So again, what do you want to do with your birthright? What do you want to do with knowing that you could reach out to a Calvin, you could reach out to a Kevin or a Lotus or a Tyler Perry and say, hey, I do want to make a difference. Show me how. And it really is all about each one teach one and helping one another, because the reality of it is that we all know someone who needs what we have. And it's really in the flocking. Even TD Jakes talked about the flocking. It's about who you're with. It's not about, oh, I stand out so well, I'm such a great singer or speaker. It's about how we come together that makes us more than whole.
Right. And what I want to say too is, I said in the beginning of the show how I've been wanting to be on this man's show for over a year, but it happens in divine time and divine order, because now we both at a place in our lives, in our careers, and what we're doing, that we could both be an asset to each other.
Yes.
And so then, therefore, God knew that He wanted us to connect at this time, at this moment, because we're both in the same alignment of what we try to do and our same purpose. So I could learn from him, he could learn from me. We could work together, but then we could also do things as individuals. So he wanted us to connect at the right time, at the right moment. So you never question why it didn't happen at that time. Just know when it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. So now we got this energy going to where he like, okay, I like what this man's doing. I like what he's doing. He's like, okay, I want you to grow with me. So whenever you ready, you come talk to me. And same with you. He like your energy and what you're doing. Whenever you're ready, so he's always gonna get more and more blessed, because he's not keeping all his knowledge to himself.
Yes.
He see that you are doing great work in your area of DC. I'm doing great work. So let's help each other elevate our platforms, so we could reach more people, so we could touch more lives, and we could inspire and educate people to be the best version of themselves. So my question to you, Calvin, I know you had some ideas about movies and TV shows, but if there's no limits on what you could do, what's your ultimate goal for you and your show?
Well, the first thing that with my show is that it's the Logan Power Show is one entity. The next thing is going to be the that I'm also doing, that I've been doing for about almost 2 years. It's called the Pastors and Leaders Talk Show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mentioned bring pastors and leaders on the top. I was going on the community and going from there. Another thing that I'm going to do, I've been working with my kids behind the scene. My son talks about he wants to do his own show, like YouTube, gaming, but I want to spin it a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have it to where we find some ways of creating our own video game, our own spin to it. A lot of times people say they want to be like somebody else. Just be yourself.
Right.
And then by me doing movies and TV series, I want to do movies to where I want to do a movie based off of biblical principles, but I want to have God in everything you do. Like you always see these kind of shows where, and you see all the time, when it comes to our culture, our community, like you say, okay, name me, like give an example, Mr. Kevin, what are your top 3 Black African-American films? And you say, okay, that's the movie I'll watch 1,001 times. Name the top.
5 Heartbeats,
Got it.
Love Jones,
Got it.
and what's that movie with about NWA?
Okay, Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton.
Cool. All right, so let's go with it. 5 Heartbeats. All right, what was the problem with them? They never knew how to work together as entity of money, finances.
Right.
They allowed another person to come into the fold to break up what they had together. They let that guy who they say was called Red influence them. One of the influences that, hey, this guy's taking your money, but he wasn't. You always hear there's a backstabber in the back when it comes to us growing, and you think about as a group. You think about all the singing groups like the Temptations, the Whispers, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Boys in the Hood, Boys to Men, excuse me. Boys to Men. A lot of our black 5 groups, 3 groups, however, where are they now? You don't find them because they don't want harmony anymore when it comes to our community anymore. They want that singled out community, but not harmony. Because if you build harmony, then you build love. Love is designed that love is unconditional. See, agape is how God works. It's unconditional type of love. Love Jones. Everybody said, like, man, I want to be Lorenz Tate. Oh my gosh, you know, hey, she was beautiful. But anytime in that movie talk about marriage, no, I ain't talking about no marriage. Because they don't want to teach in our community that a man who is African-American can never find an African-American woman, settle down and marry. Nah, we can have the greatest love of our time sexually in the bedroom. Oh, he was great, boom, 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 boom. But there was no really strong commitment. There wasn't say like, you know, they got married, they had kids, they blew up together in their industries to a whole other level. Straight Outta Compton. What was, if Eazy-E knew how powerful he was, if Ice Cube, Dre, Ren, they knew how powerful they were, they would have never would have separated. They would have always had it in-house. You think of the top African-American hip-hop record labels, Bad Boys, Death Row Records. You can talk about Suge Knight all you want, but Death Row Records was pulling it in. Interscope Records. You can say what you want about Dr. Dre, but Dr. Dre had something that was powerful that we hadn't seen yet. And NWA had paved the way. Now the language was foul, absolutely, but we could have changed the narrative. Ice Cube broke off. Remember, he did his thing. They said, man, you'll never do Friday. It's a waste of time. Why would you do a movie? Why would you get into acting, stay in the hip hop? Dr. Dre beats. Why would you get involved in it? And they kept it all in house, saying we're doing one label for music, one label for movies, one label for when it comes to beats, all these things. Them guys would have all been billionaires, not just Dr. Dre. Everybody would have been. Why do we never have those type of movies where we are changing the narrative? We can't have a movie that somebody made it up out the bad situation. Does it always be you got to be with somebody for 10, 15 years, then after I've tested it for 15 years, then I get married? You can't have them struggles while we getting married? You think about it. You think about it, like, Miss Lois, what's your favorite 3 movies you like, man? What are your favorite 3? Your top 3 movies? You say, man, I love these movies.
Top 3. Well, Kevin and I, we think alike. 5 Heartbeats, unequivocally, because of the message. So that's one. The Color Purple.
Got it.
And let me think. I can't think of. Okay, I got one for you. Sure. The setting was in New York. It was about a drug dealer. He was the head honcho. His right-hand man messed up. He stabs the guy in the hand.
New Jack City.
New Jack City.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Got it. All right, you think about it, Color Purple. If you think about the Danny Glover role, right? If Danny Glover knew the power of family, he would have had that lady find her kids a long time ago.
Yep.
But it's called by suppression.
Mm-hmm.
Then they talk about how you got to go through all the struggles and never see the promised land. Everybody talk about Oprah and how like Hoppo, you know, people thought, you look at that film, the only billionaire of that film was Oprah, and Oprah played a lesser role than anybody.
Yes.
In the whole entire film. But you looked in how the stigma was like, oh, she's a big woman, so you can't love her. Or they played like she was the angry Black woman, not knowing about suppression, not knowing about how she was struggling, not knowing that, you know, she was trying to build a name for herself, how she got beat because she didn't want to be a passive type of person. Those subliminals, that slavery mentality still goes today.
Yes, and you see it even in the workplace. You know, if you have a woman of color who is doing well for herself, a lot of times other people of color will kind of beat her down. And oftentimes what people don't realize is that you'll have her male counterpart at the same job. He'll be making a few $1,000s more than she's making, and she'll be making a lot less, but she's working harder. She's on time. She's doing all the things and doing the same job as her counterpart. And what people don't realize is this is just a more engrossed way of keeping us separated. Again, I always tell Kevin about this book, The Sister of GMs by Bell Hooks. Tells it so eloquently, and I challenge folks to read that.
Amen. Amen. And like you think about New Jack City, if you took away drugs, say if they were on a real type of movement, say they were like housing developer people type of people,
yes,
where it wasn't about drug, but housing development, or how they went and they tore up the drug infested areas, built houses, tore up Wall Street, started investing, making all kind of crazy money, and changing the narrative. What would that have encouraged a Black male? How, if Wesley Snipes was the person and his whole crew were the people that they built housing development and they tore up Wall Street and they tricked the stock market, finding a way to become Black billionaires. At that time, if that came out, crack would have stopped like this.
Yeah, and it would have changed the whole idea of how people in those areas saw themselves. They could see, you know, there is a way out. I might have to do this until I can do better, but we have these role models, because that's what they become, teaching us and showing us how we can do better, and we can employ our own people and employ them fairly. Not, hey, I'm gonna get you to work for me, but you're gonna have to take a cut because I got to do this. No, employ them fairly. Give them a sense of worth. It would have been phenomenal. So excellent point.
That's all I'm trying to say. I want to do movies that are totally like show how we can become a billionaire. You know, how we can change social media, how we can change the narrative when it comes to electronics, sports. You know, not just be the player on the court, but be the owner, be the coach, the executive behind the scenes.
Yes.
If you think about how, if we look at ourselves from a different perspective on how we should see ourselves, then you change the narrative. Like you'll never have, you see society, Hollywood will never tell the true president story of Barack Obama from day one to now. They talked about the South Side, but they don't talk about how he became a senator. They don't talk about how that entire process through an actual film and show the good, the bad, and the ugly. See, people are looking for that downfall to throw that man under the bus. But if we had a movie showing him exactly what he experienced, not just through what CNN or different type of broadcast show, but have a movie to describing what was it like becoming a senator? What was it like becoming the president, and seeing what it was like for almost thousands of people to see you walk and say congratulations, to give your inauguration speech, to be able to say, I've been here 8 years, to know what it's like, to hear those private conversations that we don't hear about.
And also, Calvin,
Yeah.
if I may,
Sure.
because I think this is a huge point. What about the fact that not only was he the first African American president as we know it, but he was one of the first presidents that did not meet with scandal. And that speaks volumes. And they looked and looked into his past. The only thing they could come up with, oh, he may not be an American citizen. And we know that was not true.
Yes,
but the thing is, how was it to be above reproach, never in any type of scandal, and did a great job in the whole duration he was there? Now, he wasn't perfect because, remember, it's ruled by two separate houses, but he did what he could do with what he had and stayed out of scandal. And I think that's great. And it shows something for men of color to let you know that you can be married if that's your choice. You can date your mate. You can go to college with your mate. You can uphold her and tell her that she's beautiful, whether she wears a sleeveless dress to an outing or not. I don't care. I still love you the way you are. And guess what? Now that I've made it, I'm not going to leave you behind. We're going to walk this journey together. And that's what I really loved about him during that presidency. It was a shared thing and there was no scandal. And that's really a great outlook for men of color.
That's what we have to do. We have to change the narrative that when we make it to the top, then all of a sudden, see, I have no problem you say you made out your race. That's a choice factor. That's what you want to do. That's fine. No sugarcoated. But if the person that you were with, through the struggles, the heartache, because I can talk about your marriage, but that person was there with you since day one. Won't you want to have a movie showing that progression to day one? We always try to make it sound that in our neighborhood that we always got a lot of drama, or you see powerful black females, but it's seldom you see powerful black males. It's always like, I don't want to show the male achieving greatness. I'll show him he had a glimpse of greatness, but not greatness in a movie. There's not one. Like, I give you Black Panther, for example. People said, like, man, that movie was gonna make no money, but it made billions of dollars. Yes. They showed a black male in a dominant superhero role that had no scandals, no type of second guessing his life, that had power and authority. That was the reason why people said, I gotta see this movie.
So Calvin, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
If we can raise billions of dollars for a movie like that, if we can raise billions of dollars for Medea, which, that character is like our grandmother, the slang between mother and my dear. Okay. If people of color can raise that kind of money to help support these kind of movies, it's clear in our face that there's power in numbers. So the question is, what do we do to further embrace those power in numbers? Where do we put our dollars, and how do we learn where to put our dollars so that we're going to reap a greater amount of return?
Great question. What we have to do is first, you have to look in your neighborhood, open your door to the community and see what the need is first. Second thing, to be able to bring your dollars together, you have to knock on your neighbor's door to find out who you got next to you. A lot of times fellowship is not just on social media and sending an inbox or a DM or liking a person's picture. That is not fellowship. Fellowship is sitting down, having lunch. Fellowship is I'm going to your house and say, what's up? What's going on? In your face. That's fellowship. Right. We don't have a lot of that in our neighborhoods. So we don't have fellowship. Another thing is that you have to embrace someone who you want to be as your mold. You got to create someone to lead it. It can't be everyone. Someone has to be a mold in the community. You can say, you know what? That's going to be our mold to get us to the next level. And then the mold is going to be the person that's going to bring everybody else in. You see it all in your mafia movies, right? Your mafia movies, you always got that mold. The person, the mafia say, that's our person. That's our spokesperson for us. And we feed them in that person. And we're going to tell that person what we want them to do. So that's the thing. You got to create a mold, and you got to learn how to support your neighborhood by letting the dollar turn, not just only one time, but 7 times. In a Jewish community, Asian community, that dollar turns 7 times the amount. So that means is that when you see a person on your street who looks like you, who's struggling, your job is to get them to they're not struggling anymore. It could be like this. It's saying like, well, hey, if you got no groceries this week, hey, come to my house, get some of my groceries because I'm overstocked. And come get mine, and then we go together. We growing. Or if we go to the same job together, hey, let's carpool. Let's save some money. The gas is going to pay for the bus company, pay me to put in my car. Hey, we going next level. Hey, our children go to the same school. Hey, let them ride the bus together. Let them build that relationship. See, relationship is how it's going to build to the whole other level. See, the problem they always talk about in our neighborhood, we don't trust one another, and we don't work together. So working together, the trust barrier is this. You got to learn who to put in your circle, but you got to create a mold, and prayer is needed. I'm like this. For us to change, you got to put God first. I believe that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I don't really get caught up in color, but I know that my people that look like me are suffering more than any other nationality in the United States of America. Not in the globe, but the United States especially. And for me, I was put in this skin to make a difference, not just people that look like me, people who don't look like me. So for me, people who look like me, my job is, I may not live in your neighborhood, but you know what? If your child comes on the team that I coach, I'm gonna treat them like they were my own child. So if they don't got no food, I'm gonna buy them that lunch. Or they got no one to come to see them in school, I'm gonna come to their school, and I'm gonna support them. I'm a coach, because that's what I do. I coach on the side as well. I coach my kids basketball, soccer, and baseball. And my thing I learned is that in teaching kids, helping people out, that a lot of kids need just a helping hand, just that encouraging someone. You get to be in the classroom. So I believe in our community, we got the biggest 3 things is that we have to learn how to first fellowship. We got to learn how to work together, just in the small things. I'm not talking about thousands of dollars, but it takes numbers. And you got to have a belief system. You got to trust. You got to say who you believe in it. So I don't know about anybody else, but people believe in somebody. I know who I believe in, and I believe that we have to work together. Because I'm like this. If you can do it in sports, you definitely can do it in your neighborhood. Absolutely. And so it requires coming together.
Absolutely. So we got 10 minutes left. So what I want to do is I'm going to go with Lotus first. First, tell everybody how can they find you and follow you on social media. And then whatever's on your spirit, this is your chance to go with it.
Okay, my name is Lotus Riche, and I am the CEO of Lotus Riche Ignites Life Coaching and Consulting, where I purport that you should ignite and take flight. You can reach me at 1-800-593-9733. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, and a host of other medias. But most importantly, you can find me every Monday right here, 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can hit us up on Facebook. You can go to Manifest TV. You can go to Lotus Riche Ignites. You can go to Val Riche, and you can find us here. The thing that resonates most with me tonight, and that I want to share to everyone that's listening, is gratitude. I'm so thankful that Kevin has had the zeal to do what he's doing, because he is making this world a better place every day and in every way, because he's reaching out to people, not in competition, but he's reaching out in love to say, hey, if you have something you want to talk about that is important to you, that is important to the community, or that is important to the world as a whole, this is the platform that you can do it. I'm thankful for people like Calvin Logan, someone that's coming up and saying, hey, listen, I am reaching back and pulling you up so that you can do anything that your heart dreams of. Because this is the place where dreams really do come true, right here. So I'm thankful that I'm here each week with you. And Calvin, I'm looking forward to doing some things with you in the future as well. And to everybody out there, know your birthright. Know that this, as Calvin said earlier, those things are important. And don't think that you can't make it just because of the melanin in your skin. You can do anything you put your mind to. And as far as Kevin, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I'll see you all next week.
Thank you so much, Mr. Calvin. Tell everybody how they can follow you, reach you, and all that good stuff, and then lead us with your final thought.
Amen. My name is Calvin C. Logan II. You can look me up on Facebook. I got 2 Facebook pages: Calvin CALVIN C Logan LOGAN II, or Calvin Logan II. My website is www.theloganpowershow.us. TheLoganPowershow.us. You can email me at theloganpowershow@gmail.com. You can call us at 843-697-5545. We have our Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. We come on All Nations TV 4 days out the week. Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Monday at 2:30 p.m. Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. And Wednesday, 2 o'clock in the morning on All Nations TV. We're also on MFTN Network. You'll find us around the clock there. We do have our radio show on Alations Radio, Ms. Kimmy Robinson. We come on periodically. I know the next time we'll be speaking again on radio will be August the 24th, normally at 6 p.m. The number at that time is 646-564-9842 at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know August 24th and August 31st. So he looks on Spreaker and look at Relations Radio and look for the Logan Power Show. Again, Ms. Kevin, I also wanted to tell you again, and Ms. Lotus, that from the bottom of my heart, you are all more than welcome. If you want to take your actual talents to the next level in television, hey, I'm more than happy to always give my doors open to you, that you can learn and give you some information. We will be filming, I don't know about y'all, on August the 10th here in Summerville, South Carolina, between 2 to 5 p.m. So you both are more than happy if you can make it down here, or anybody else can come and get on the show.
What day? What day is that?
August 10th. August 10th, between 2 and 5 p.m. On 100 Alacia Drive in Summerville, South Carolina. So definitely, if you all want to get connected, it's at the Church at For Your Glory International Ministries is where I go to church at, where we'll be filming. And that's with our leader, Apostle Martina Ashley. So, hey, between 2 and 5, we'll be there. We're going to be rocking it out. Got a lot of things going on. But I want to, before I go and leave a couple things, in Colossians chapter 3, verse 23, it says, whatsoever you do, do it heartily as the Lord and not unto men. In verse 24, knowing that of the Lord you shall receive the reward of inheritance, for you serve the Lord Christ. So Colossians chapter 3, verse 23 to 24. So when you do stuff right and you do it with your heart right, God can reward you openly. He searches the heart. It's not all about how many finances you have. It's not all about how many likes you got social media wise, when people think you're the greatest. He searches the heart. If you are a person that you're about saving lives, saving souls, God will open doors for you. If you're the kind of person you're all about yourself, then it will last just for a season. You see it all the time. But God searches the heart. So I want you all who are watching this and who watch this even on the replay, search your heart. Say, why do you want to do this? Why is it in your heart? If it's all about finances, then I suggest you probably not do it. because the Bible talks about the love of money is the root of all evil. The Bible says the money answers a thing like anything. It's the love of money, how you worship money, if you're going to live and die for it. But I want to tell you both, Mr. Kevin, I know you're going to go great different places. This is not just a platform for you. I know television is there in your heart. I know that it's going to open a lot of massive doors for you. You keep on doing what you're doing, encouraging the men, do that men's conference you talk about doing. Let God use you. Because I know a lot of times what we don't do is iron sharpens iron, what the Bible talks about. We don't sharpen our brothers anymore. We try to, for instance, say, well, you know, hey, you got to pay this to learn. But you have an open heart. And I pray that God just ignites you with doors that are going to open that you've never seen in 2019 and moving forward. Same with you, Ms. Lowe's. I just pray. I know I see more things with you as well. The television is something that you're going to grasp to, plus radio. But I see you both are going to get into that actual film production, because that's where God has your heart going to, because you all have a platform that you have not really tapped into yet. It's not just movies and TV shows, but it's actual plays that are going to actually mend people's hearts and how people are going to see something different. Now, I have nothing against Tyler Perry. I know he's making a great deal of massive things, and I pray the best heavens best for him. But I know some things we got to do change the male perspective, and that is what we got to do. The male perspective has got to change. We have to change in what God's heart is for us. It's not about just us, but it's about other people. We have to understand that God put you here on this earth to be a male and to do the right thing as a male. A lot of times we try to compromise ourselves and say, well, we have identity crisis of who we are and what God has called you to be. But the male species is going to change. And I believe that that's what the platform is designed for us to have. Same thing with the female platform, that the female species has to change. And the perspective that we try to label our ladies as being, they're not a piece of meat. They're not something we put on like an actual pedestal and we take it off when we want to. We have to build each other. And I just pray that people take this life seriously and not play with it. So for those who are watching this, I know it's been a long time here watching this for a long period of time, but I appreciate you just giving that time just to listen to us. But hey, email me at theloganpowershow@gmail.com. Go on my website, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Look us on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
All right. I appreciate both of you guys. I appreciate the kind words you both said to me. I greatly appreciate it. We all are going to elevate together. I do believe that. So what I would end up saying is follow me on Facebook, Kevin Thornton. Also, the Wellness Architect is the Wellness Architect on IG, Kevin Thornton on LinkedIn. And I just want all of us to speak into existence on what we want to become in this life and what our purpose is in this life, and use that purpose to create the greatness and the abundance in our lives is going to be. Because we all are entitled to be the best versions of who we want to be. And there's no limits on what we could do, what we can achieve, who we could touch. So this is just the start for all three of us. And I just want to see all three of us at the top. So with that being said, be great, be authentic, be you, and we're out. Thank you guys. Peace out.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Amen. God bless you.
Amen. Bless you.